Hey everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. Today I wanted to show you my Alaska junk journal. My friend Diane at Shawcraft One was showing a journal that she made for her Etsy shop that had a rather massive spine like this one has. I think this is 3.5, 4 inches. It's big and it's clunky. It's not the real easiest thing to handle, but it fit and it was fun. This is made with a cereal box, and I lined the cereal box with scrapbooking paper that was a snowflake theme because you think of Alaska as being a cold place. When we were there last August, it was cool in the mornings and it usually required that we wore a hoodie all day, but even some afternoons we didn't have to do that. It was okay in just short sleeves. So it was really, really nice. Anyway, but I picked a snowy theme just because that's kind of the stereotype. I made this tassel. I'm hoping that it will zoom in on some of the detail. I love making tassels. This is an earlier one that I made when I first started dabbling in this. I first saw these from Jessica Huffman at I'm a Cool Mom and Lindsay Zenor, and I like how they make them. Mine is a little bit longer and flowy. I think my style now is shorter and stockier and fuller, but this fits, and this has a lot of fun detail in it that makes me think of cool wintry weather. The charm on here says wander, and there are beads that are kind of snowy, icy themed, if you can see those. So I will try to move along on this and keep it just one segment. On the front here, I cut out pieces from flyers that we picked up when we were there, and I went over it all with Mod Podge and glitter to give it that snowy, icy look. On the sides, you can also see where I use the eyelet, and I just laced it through with ribbon to tie the eyelet. And also, I meant to mention that I painted the inside of the cover. I didn't do anything else. I did the outside with scrapbook paper. I had painted the inside first with a shimmery purple, and then I used washi tape to just kind of finish the edge. So it's kind of, it was an easy one to do, and it's not real fancy though, so it was easy to get done. Oh, and I wanted to point out here, if you can see the signatures, there are 4. I had started making this book a lot smaller, and it ended up just being way too bulky for the smaller cover, so I redid the cover. This is done in more of a smash book style. It's not in order, so there's the 3 kind of 4 signatures. The 4th is actually an envelope, manila envelope folded in half, and I have things stuffed in the one side of the envelope, as well as pictures here on this flap. But I just, as I came across our memorabilia, I either paper clipped it in, or well, here's another paper clip. I made envelopes, I would stick it in there, or I would attach it directly to a page. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't worry about being, let's see, what's the word, but just in order. I just kind of put stuff in as I came across my pile of stuff I accumulated while we were there. And then I wrote directly on the page to journal. So the fun thing was, we were in Denali and we were visiting a bunch of shops. There was a coffee shop and several souvenir gift shop type places, and lo and behold, there was a craft shop. And I had to laugh because I thought, crafters will find crafting stuff no matter where they go. So here I am on the base of the mountains in Denali, and here's a craft shop that had scrapbooking paper. So I picked up 4 or 5 sheets of Alaska themed paper, and I used some of those in the journal. So here you can see, here's one of the Alaska papers, and here I clipped on pictures from the airport in Fairbanks. They had a wildlife display there. There was a moose. These are a little bit tight. There's my daughter being silly with a polar bear. These were in glass, but they were fun to take pictures with because they kind of look like they're right next to the animals. I made this envelope and I put little souvenirs in here, receipts, some pictures from flyers of the wildlife that you can see there, and of the Iditarod that starts, I think, in Fairbanks, if I read that right. We visited the Santa Claus house. I bought a jam spoon made out of Alaskan birch. So all kinds of things like that. I picked up several postcards and I clipped those in. Here's the sleeve to a coffee that we got. We stayed at this amazing resort that was kind of sort of in the wilderness. It was absolutely wonderful. And they had at this lodge, actually not a resort even, coffee and tea available at all times in the dining area. So I just put the little tea, what do you call that, tea tag thing. And the neat thing about this lodge was it used to be a camp, or like a bunkhouse for miners, and it's been converted to a bed and breakfast, and we stayed there. The outside of it makes you want to turn away and go home and not come back because it's just all tin and it's kind of rusted. The inside was just amazing. Authentic animal skins. You just could imagine miners being there. Everything was clean though and redone. The bathrooms were wonderful. It was warm. It was cozy. There were wooden floors, wooden walls, all kinds of Alaskan memorabilia, souvenirs, you know, sleds and snowshoes and things like that everywhere. And so here you can see I made a pocket, and a lot of this is just clipped in stuff. But to give you ideas, if you're somewhere and you can pick up more of a heavy duty map of the area, this one is of the area we were at. We were in Fairbanks mostly for my son's wedding, but we saw some outskirts areas too. I took pictures of some of the unusual foods. In the time of year we went, there were flowers everywhere. So I couldn't help but taking pictures of the beautiful, beautiful flowers. And I read that they do that there. They grow them in like greenhouses, and then when the weather's warm enough, they put them out at hotels, at restaurants, at stores, because they have such a long, snowy, dark season. When it is nice, they want flowers everywhere. And then this picture is really fun. This was taken about 9:30 at night, and it was still daylight. So we were there when it was still daylight much of the time. I think we took a photo about 1:30 in the morning, and it was just starting to look dark. Oh, and this little envelope here is just made out of a map. Make envelopes any way you want. And I cut out a bunch of brochure pictures of different places that we were at, as well as some of the things that we did not see but were from the area where we were. We just had a few days there, so we weren't able to do a whole lot, but it just felt like a really full, fun time. I put the sticky gemstones throughout too to kind of emulate that snowy idea. And here I had just folded over, actually didn't fold over, I sewed on part of the map. More postcards here. Oh, these aren't postcards, they're bookmarks I bought. They look like a postcard. Northern Lights we were not able to